For decades, patients who died at the Central Louisiana State Hospital were buried in what amounts to a potter's field. They were indigent or sometimes unclaimed by family members, perhaps due to the stigma of mental illness.
They were buried by other patients who built pine coffins, and then there was a small concrete marker with their ID number marked on it, stamped in it.
After touring the cemetery, Abigail Sebastian, a retired school teacher, joined a group that is trying to bring recognition to the lives that ended here.
It's still just heartbreaking to me that these people who suffered when they were alive, many of them, had no recognition for the ages that they even lived, here and where they're buried and so on.
In the early days, patients at Central Louisiana State Hospital would endure harsh treatments. Some were locked in chairs, confined to holding pens, or slept in crowded dorms. This building, called the Rose Cottage, was built in 1917. It housed the hospital's morgue, the last stop before a grave with no name. The first burials here were in 1906, within months of the opening of the Central Louisiana State Hospital. The burials continued for the next 50 years. There are only a handful of named markers in a cemetery with the remains of more than 2,000 people. The centerpiece of the memorial contains a poem written by a former patient, Barry Voorhees. You can almost imagine him sitting in this peaceful spot, putting these words to paper.
My spirit runs free, like a bird flying high, like an eagle in the sky, like a river flowing free. Your song carries me singing. Run, spirit, run, spirit, run, spirit, run.
The words are full of emotion.
Their body may not cooperate like they want it to, but their spirit and their soul is free to talk.
The goal of the Cemetery Preservation Group is to raise enough money to erect a series of monuments.
And so we've been able to match those numbers with the names, and sometimes with the location where they were born and their birth date.
And the numbers that are nearly lost for the ages will be replaced by names on those new monuments in a final resting place where many, many souls were set free.
Flowers start to bloom and the sun begins to shine. It's so fine. And here I sit, just God and me. Talking to him, my spirit runs free.
With the heart of Louisiana, Dave McNamara, Fox 8 News.